Εδώ είμαι πάλι, λοιπόν. Να σας πω ότι το συγκεκριμένο πάνελ θα γίνει στην αγγλική γλώσσα, διότι έχουμε 3 από τους συμμετέχοντες που δεν είναι Έλληνες, οπότε οι άλλοι 2 οι Έλληνες θα συμβαδίσουν. Let's welcome Miss Aimee Trusler. You saw them earlier, International Sales Manager of AirDNA. Mrs. Selin Biber, Head of Sales of Kigo. Mrs. Vicky Payne, Accountant. Please sit. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. Vicky Payne is an account executive of You're Welcome. Mr. Alex Καραβίτης, he's over there helping the ladies, CEO of Syncbnb, and Mr. Αθανάσιος Pηλιούνης, CEO of Radefy. No, Alex, έλα από εδώ, σε παρακαλώ. Ευχαριστώ. Ναι, ευχαριστώ πολύ. So, welcome, everyone. You're all technology guys. Alex, you also have a robot out there. Very cute. Yeah. So we need some microphones, please.
Or we'll just shout. Ένα.
We will try here to bring people closer to technology. We'll try to explain why technology is important for their business. I was reading about a big conference of short-term rentals that Skift organized in December in New York. Laurent Tossi, ex-executive of Airbnb, said that it's not enough to be good in the hospitality sector. If you want to succeed in the short-term rentals market, the key to your success is technology. So we'll talk about technology. Aimee, just a little while ago, you told us about the importance of data. Why do you think data is important for someone's business? And in particular in the tourism sector as short-term rentals?
Hello. So it's a really great question, and I think when we talk about the importance of technology, it goes hand in hand with the importance of data as well. So the importance of data in the short-term rental industry particularly, and we spoke a lot this morning about how it's such a rapidly growing industry. Today's property managers need to implement tech solutions to stay ahead of the market and streamline these processes. The reason why data is important is there's no way for you to know what's going on in the market, to benchmark yourself against your competitors, and know where you stand in your market and globally in short-term rentals without knowing what the occupancy rate is, what other properties are doing, where are their emerging markets. Any property manager that wants to reach a professional level needs to know what's going on in the market. And the only way to do this is through data solutions.
Selin, let's talk about, introduce us Kigo. How does Kigo work?
Kigo is all-in-one solution for property managers. We have 9 different products under one roof. So our main focus is creating your own brand without having a dependency on the channels. Of course, having a channel manager is very important, and we have also a channel manager that can have different strategies for each channel. But we focus on website, creating your own brand, and giving a unique experience to the guests so you can have repeating customers as well.
So you help somebody create its own website? if I understand correctly?
Yes, we have a platform. We help property managers to build their own website, and we also have payment processor that helps property managers to process their payments. I believe this is very important because you need the money on time to have a cash flow so you can maintain your business and you can grow.
But you also have a channel manager tool?
Yes, it's all in one. We have channel manager, guest experience tool, we have a website platform and payment processor. So everything is under one roof. You don't need any third party to manage your properties.
So how about data that Aimee told us? Do you provide some kind of statistics to your clients, to the owners, I mean?
When it comes to revenue, we have our pricing tool to automate price changes, but we work really closely with AirDNA to have the data, because if you don't have that data, doesn't matter which pricing policy you have, if you don't know the market, it doesn't make sense to use any pricing tool. So we are working on like enhancing our relationship with data companies, and AirDNA is obviously it's one of the best. So
Yeah.
yeah, and we are both in Barcelona, so
Yeah, of course. So we'll talk more about Kigo and explain us a little bit more how you work. Vicky, we have the same name.
Hi. Yes,
and
we do.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Tell us, what is You're Welcome? What's your, what do you do?
Yeah. So Your Welcome is a physical tablet that sits inside the property. So I've got it with me so I can show you. Yeah, it's a physical tablet. So we supply the hardware and software that sits inside the property. So what it's designed to do, it's designed to replace the paper guide that you might typically see inside a property. So rather than the guest going to the paper guide to look at recommendations, how to work certain things in the property, and to obviously communicate with you, rather than using other platforms, they can use the tablet. So it's an all-in-one solution to manage the guest during the stay.
So you mean like the house manual? Or also you can give some suggestions to your guests, or I don't know, what else?
Yeah, so on the house manual side of things, rather than just leaving out text guides that very often guests won't necessarily read, so they'll start phoning you up, which I'm sure a lot of people in the audience can probably testify to. Rather than that, they can watch video guides. So how to work dishwashers, how to work the air conditioning.
Yeah,
so,
very useful.
Yeah, so really useful stuff. It's all on video guides.
It's
But
more
also-
difficult to explain it in words than show it. You press this button and that's it.
Yeah, and it can be quite frustrating for the guest, but also for the property manager as well, because obviously you're then spending your time in your day just answering the same repeat questions on how to work certain appliances.
How the dishwasher works. Yeah. Okay. And so you can also make some suggestions about the area, where to eat, where to have a drink, or where to shop, or stuff like that.
Yeah, so we supply the local content, so things to do. So in Athens, obviously the top activities. You can also add your own recommendations as well.
You supply it, or
We supply it, so complimentary, but you can add to it and you can edit it. So we give you that complimentary access to the local area and activities, but you can add to it and edit it. What you can also do is build in any tour and activity providers onto the tablet. So if you want to connect yourself and your business and your properties to local businesses, you can advertise and market those on the tablet as well.
Okay. Let's go to Alex. Let's have a first round of introducing your business. Even though you're a pretty well-known business in Greece, Syncbnb, give us a few words. Tell us a few words about it.
Thank you for the invitation, for being here. Syncbnb helps vacation rental owners and managers increase their revenue by listing on multiple channels. And then we make sure they never get a double booking by synchronizing all the calendars. So you could call us a channel manager. We're doing a few things beside that. The most important thing that we do is that we sell peace of mind. So if someone wants to come and be on 5, 6 channels and he wants to make sure he never gets double booking, Syncbnb offers a 0 double booking guarantee. We make sure they never get double booking, and even if that happens, because 2 bookings might happen in the same second, There's nothing we can do about that. We handle the double booking. So we find a place for the second guest. We make the relocation. If it's more expensive, we pay for it. So that's our guarantee. And around the synchronization and the rate management, so you can give your rates to us and then we push it to the channels, there's a few other stuff going on behind the scenes.
Okay, you'll tell us a little bit more about it. And Mr. Pηλιούνης from Radefy, please tell us a few words about Radefy. What is it?
Radefy is a Greek startup. We started about almost a year ago. We've developed, in our opinion, a revolutionary product and very innovative. It's something that was missing from the market. It's from the cost side, not from the revenue side. What we do is we help BnB owners and property managers manage their environment. So we have developed a smart device and a platform which connects, our platform also connects with channel managers like Alexandros. And basically what we do is we allow from our management side, our management software, the owners and the property owners to manage all the devices in their property. So for example, they might set parameters for the use of the refrigerator, the water heater, the air conditioner, and so on and so forth. We also issue electronic keys. And in the case that our customers are also customers of the channel manager, we get electronic booking information from the channel manager. We issue electronically the keys, which go directly to the guest, and the guest downloads our app. And with the app, they can open the front door of the building and also the door of the apartment.
The apartment.
And in this way, we give a total control over the cost parameters of the business to the owner, and he can control his pricing, his cost model better, so he can increase his revenue. And we estimate that by using our service, you can increase your revenues, you can lower your costs and increase your revenues at the same time by approximately 20%.
Oh, that's great, 20%.
Per annum. Yes.
That's pretty significant. Yeah,
exactly.
it is.
And this is after you pay our fees.
Excuse me?
This is after you pay our fees.
Okay. That's great. That's great. So, Alex, you told us that Syncbnb is an expert in synchronizing calendars, bookings, through all distribution channels.
We like to think so.
Yeah. Why is it important to use multiple distribution channels?
Sure.
I mean, some say, some owners say, okay, I have listed my apartment, my house in AirDNA, let's say, and I'm always full. Why get in trouble with some other platform?
Great question. So let me be clear up front with this. If you have 100%, you're full all year, every day is full, you don't need a channel manager. Just stay where you are, be full all year, you're fine.
Okay.
If you're not full, and you have days left to sell, and your occupancy rate is less than 70%, then you probably need to be on more channels. So we run 2 years in a row a survey on 1,200 vacation rental owners and managers, a global survey, with 10 very simple questions like which channels are you on, how many listings do you have. The main question was, since listing on more than one channel, how much has your revenue improved and increased? The average was 2.2 times out of 1,200 hosts, right? 2.2 times. So imagine you're making 10,000 euros or dollars 1 year. Next year, you're making 22,000.
Wow.
So that's huge.
Yeah.
That's what got us in the business. That's how we started with this survey, actually, in 2016. Then we ran it again in 2017 and 2018. So we found it was very important to be on multiple. Number one way to increase your revenue is being on multiple channels. Number two is having the best reviews. Number three is having the very good pictures. And then, there's many ways to increase your revenue and your bookings. Number one is being on multiple channels. So we focused on that. We decided to build the best platform we could build to do that thing. And we have 3 USPs, which are unique selling propositions. First one is we can synchronize any channel. So even if we haven't heard about it before, you come to us and you say, I'm listing on chaletsinaustria.com. Cool, we've never heard of it. It takes us 24 hours to plug into any channel and synchronize it. Second is we have 24/7 support. So people, our customers love that because we have under 3 minutes reply time on our chat, and it's 24/7. And the third is the zero double booking guarantee that I mentioned earlier. So that's the reason why you should be on multiple channels. If you're full, if you have a more than 95% occupancy rate, you don't need to be on more channels.
Aimee, is that correct? Do you agree with that? Because in AirDNA checks right now, integrates right now statistics from 2 platforms, Airbnb and HomeAway, and you're right now, you told us that you're trying to integrate also bookings from booking.com. Okay. So is that correct? As many platforms as possible?
Yeah. I definitely think what's important to remember is that as a consumer, okay, think of yourself as a traveler. When you go to look for a property for a vacation, a lot of the time you're not going to look at just one platform, okay? You want to surf different platforms, find out where the best price is. And
Even
make
go
your
on
decision
some
based on
meta-search
that.
platforms?
Exactly. So let's say Skyscanner or Expedia or whatever it might be. This is why it's important to be on multiple platforms. If you're limiting yourself to one platform, you might get lost in the search when someone shifts over to HomeAway and you're only on Airbnb. It's really important to make as much effort as possible to be across all platforms that all consumers are using, because that is the way to maximize booking. And it's also really important to remember that Airbnb has been around a long time. It is, the number one that started this, but there are so many emerging platforms. And whilst direct bookings also count for a lot of bookings for a lot of users, again, a consumer is generally always looking at one of the big 3, which is Airbnb, HomeAway, or Booking.com.
So you also say that the marketing is transforming as new players are coming in. We have to check other solutions besides Airbnb. Okay, we have this.
Yep.
It's the number 1, but there are also other players. Okay, so what tools does AirDNA offer to owners and managers?
So when we first began, the core product that we were trying to develop for our users was just a market intelligence tool, okay? So high-level market information, understanding what's going on. Since then, we've grown our suite of products to dynamic pricing information, supply and demand, future pricing information, benchmarking as well. And we do this through the collection of individual tracking performance. So the tool that I showed you this morning, we displayed our online interactive dashboard that is essentially driven by the underlying raw data that we have. So in addition to an online interactive dashboard, we also offer offline raw data feeds and API access as well to help property managers set their pricing, understand what's going on, and also prospect for expansion.
Selin, what tools do you offer for the owners or the management companies?
We offer 9 different products. We have our property management system to help operations side of the business. Then we have our channel manager. We sync everything, photos, description, content, and we have different rules for each channel because every channel has different profile, different guest profile. Then we have our website, which is the most important because you will get direct bookings, right? And then we have Kigo Pay, which is unique for Kigo because you can process all payments through Kigo. Then Guest XP for guest communication, Operations Manager for operations, maintenance, and housekeeping. Owner XP for owner communication, you can generate statements, automate statements. And we also offer insurance for houses as well. So everything.
All in one.
All in one, I told you guys.
Okay. Vicky, do you think that products made specifically for the short-term rentals, market, are able to help manager grow their business? I mean, you have a product that is specifically for BnB owners, right? It's not for hotels or anything else.
No, it's for short-term rental owners. I think actually sometimes with the tablets, people do assume that we work in more hotels than short-term spaces, which is actually not true at all. Our product is designed to give property managers the tools, like a lot of these guys up here do, tools that actually grow and expand the business really, really quickly. So one of the ways that you can do that through the tablets is by building on revenue, so capitalizing on revenue per stay and maximizing that. So not just looking at occupancy revenue and occupancy throughout the year, but also using the tablets to build on that revenue. So marketing services and facilitating the guests to buy services like late checkouts, extra cleans, any extra services you want to purchase. So I definitely think tools that do that, that really help the property manager maximize their revenue. So the tablet does that in that way. But I also think driving direct bookings actually is really key as well. So obviously outside of the OTA platforms, also the tablet does provide the property manager with a way of marketing their websites and attracting guests to look at their brand and look at their website and look at what properties they're offering on their own website as well. So yeah, I do think it's obviously hugely important that property managers look at the technology that's in the market and really use and leverage that technology to grow their business.
Let me remind you that you can ask your questions to any one of the guys here. You go to sly.do and you press the code 9393. So, Alex, also Vicky said that direct bookings, and Selin here, that direct bookings are something that the owners and managers, it has to be inside their plans. They have to do something about it, and not only depend on platforms, which are good, but not only platforms. How can they do that? I mean, many of the owners just have one apartment, one house, one listing anyway, and it sounds a little bit scary to go on direct bookings.
Sure. So first of all, let me tell you that in the workshop we had earlier, I showed a slide that showed some data that we have gathered the past few years. And the data show that although the direct channel, so selling directly either through your own website or other means, is from the data we have from our system and our customers, is 22% of bookings. However, it's 40% of profits. Now, that happens because when you get a direct booking, you don't have to pay commission to the channel. So it's very important to build your own direct channel. Now, we've identified two problems with that. The first one is that it's usually expensive to do it. So for a small manager that has maybe 3, 5, 10 properties, the cost is usually either prohibitive or quite high. So they have to pay maybe 3,000 to 5,000 euros or dollars to create their own website and have their own domain name and do some marketing and stuff like that. So that was the first problem. The second is that platforms that build your website, like, I don't want to say names, but platforms, there are vacational platforms that you can use to create your own website. Usually what happens there is they create your website on their own domain name, either with a subdomain or with a / something. Now, the problem with that is that if you decide to leave them, you leave the website behind. You have to build it again from the beginning on where you're going. And that means you lose all the SEO you've gathered over the time, all the people have come, they've known that URL, so that was the second problem. So
and you burn your domain name also, or not?
Some of them, they can build your site with your own domain name, and if you can do that, that's good, because then you can take it with you when you leave. But if it's a subdomain, or if it's just a subfolder of the website, then you have a problem. And if you leave, you lose a lot of the stuff you've gathered during the years. So what we've done, and it's a good opportunity to announce it now, we have a new collaboration that's starting next month, where our customers, they can build their website with the partner that we're partnering with for an amount that is very affordable. It's something like 300 euros per year. and they can sell directly. They can have their booking engine there. People can register and give their emails, then they gather real emails of customers and not masked emails from the channel, and their phone numbers and everything. They can create a direct relationship with their customers. They can accept payments with PayPal or credit card, and the money will go to their account the next day. And it's what someone needs in order to build their direct channel, and that's what we're working on right now.
So we have the insights, the data. We have the synchronization of the calendars and of the platforms and of our own website that Kigo told us and Syncbnb told us. We also have a tool for extra services. So we are making a serious effort to increase our revenue. But we have, as you said, Nasos, we need to decrease our costs.
Yes, one of the most important things, before we started Radefy, what we observed is that this business is becoming every year more competitive, and I'm sure AirDNA will confirm this. And in my opinion, and I think this should be the opinion of everybody, as an industry becomes more and more competitive, the only way you can survive is to be cost effective. And in order to be cost effective, you got to be able to manage your costs. So the way the industry started, and I'm sure most of you started this way in the past, is that we had a property, or we have 2 or 3 properties. We started renting them. We were making money. We didn't care about the costs. The prices were high. Everybody was making money, so it was a win-win for everybody. But as more and more properties enter the market, prices start to be suppressed, and we'll see this in the future as well. So cost management is, I think, in my opinion, the most important thing for a business to survive. And we approach the industry from that side. So our platform, as I explained before, allows you to manage your costs, all your costs in the property that come from, number 1, the handing over of the keys, okay? And number 2, from managing all your electrical appliances and, to that extent, the power utilization in your property.
By the way, guests always lose their keys.
Yes.
Or leave them behind the door, so you have to change the lock.
With us, you never lose your keys because you don't have any keys. The keys are electronic, they're e-keys. And from our platform, you are able to manage all your apartments or all your properties from even if they're located anywhere in the world, and you can manage them from anywhere in the world.
I mean, you can turn on and off your air condition, let's say?
You can set parameters, for example, let's say you want the hot water heater to close in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So the hot water meter, if a guest opens it in the apartment, it will close in 30 minutes. Our machine has a thermostat, our smart device has a thermostat on it, so you can set the thermometer for 25 degrees. So when room temperature goes below 25 degrees, the air conditioning will close. You can ask.
So you help saving energy also.
Exactly. So we're eco-friendly as well, right?
Yeah.
Don't forget that. For example, you can have between arrival and between departure and arrival, all the electricity to be shut down in the apartment. You can also issue electronic keys to your staff that goes to clean up or do any other work, and you know, because we provide.
Who got in?
We know that you went in on the scheduled time.
Okay.
So, for example, if you have cleaning staff that takes the keys and you don't know when they enter the apartment, this way there's a good way to check that your staff is actually there doing the work that you're paying them to do. Okay.
So about the locks, how do you deal it when it's about big buildings that are not only BnBs, they're also different owners,
that's a great
homeowners.
Question, and it's one
How
of
do
the
you
most
deal this?
That's a great question. It's one of the most important innovations we built into our system. Our smart device, as I mentioned before, connects with the power switch of the apartment. It also connects with the buzzer, the door buzzer in the apartment, the θηροτηλέφωνο, I don't know in English what the word is that. Okay, it connects with that. So basically what happens is when a guest downloads our app and reaches the apartment building, by pressing the button on the app that has to do with the building entrance, we do not change the lock of the building.
That's what I wanted to ask. You don't change the locks.
We do not change the lock of the building, but we open any lock of any building. Okay, so by pressing the button on our application server, which sits on the Microsoft Azure cloud, gives a signal to our smart device, which signals into the buzzer that opens the door. Okay? And this way, we complete the circuit. This way, we give access to the building door without changing the lock. In the event that we've seen in recent days, that a lot of people lock the doors, okay? In order to overcome this, we also have an electrical door that the owner can give as a gift to the property, to the building. The lock is very cheap, it costs like 150 euros, where the lock locks automatically, but it's electric, which means what? That
you don't need a key to unlock.
No, even the other property, even the other renters of the building or the owners of the other apartments can open the lock, which is locked, using their buzzer. They don't have to come downstairs and unlock like they do now.
Oh.
But the door remains locked 24/7. Okay?
That's
this way,
nice.
you give them a nice gift, and they avoid having to come down every time to open the doors for people that are delivering food or for their guests in the middle of the night. And this way, we can continue doing our business without any interruption.
That's very good for houses only. Also.
And the important thing is the unified platform. This is very important because it's another innovation we have. There's no other platform in the world today that gives you the ability to manage all your properties and all your devices in one platform from one position, anywhere in the world, either you are or your properties are.
Okay. So, we have just a few seconds, and I believe you've covered a lot of about your business, so not many questions here. Why should I choose a channel manager, Alex? Somebody asks.
Why or how?
Why?
Well, it's actually to increase your revenue. The answer is simple. You get on many channels. You need to have a channel manager to synchronize your booking so you don't get a double booking. And double bookings are really bad. So anyone that has had to deal with a double booking knows how much of a drag that is. So because you have to relocate the second customer, you have to pay the difference. And usually if the host cancels a booking, then he gets penalized by the channels. So he starts showing lower in search results, he has to deal with bad reviews, and that's detrimental for his business. In this time and age, where you need to be 5-star review on every booking, you cannot afford to, one slip, you're over.
So you answered also a sub-question, how a channel manager can increase my revenue? That's almost the same thing. Vicky, your welcome services include content for Greece and Athens.
Yes, so we have some third-party partner services in Greece. So they tend to be sort of broadly international brands like Uber, for example, tickets, as well as another third party. So that's already pre-programmed into the tablets, and the property manager makes a commission from that. The same with all the local information, so things to do, etc. That's already preloaded in, but you can add and edit to that on top of what we already provide. So any partners that you want to add, in addition, any services like mid-stay cleans, late checkouts, you can then add those in on top of what we already have. Okay.
The question about the cost of the tablet, I would suggest to look for Vicky outside. They have You're Welcome has a booth, and she can answer
that
question.
Can't miss it.
Yes, pink. And Nasos, in which area do you different from WY Services? I'm really sorry, I don't know the company.
WY Services is what? I don't know them.
I don't know what it is.
Anybody?
WY? Excuse me?
Oh, how are we different from YW? Well, YW doesn't offer, doesn't manage your electricity in the apartment, and they do not manage your keys. Actually, we're supplementary services.
Yeah.
And one of the things I didn't mention before, which is I should mention since we're talking about added revenue, is our roadmap also involves offering eventually to the guests services. So, for example, third parties, like here, for example, we will integrate our platform in order to be able to provide a more complete service to your guests in which case we will be having revenue sharing with the property owners and the owners of the property. So, for example, a guest might be in China and books your apartment and might want to have transport, for example, from the airport to the apartment. Instead of looking how to do this, he will be able to immediately press our app, get transport, we get a commission, we split it with the owner. He might want babysitting services. He might want baggages delivered to the airport, and so on and so forth. There's thousands of services that can be offered to the guest, and we plan to include the most popular of them using third-party services, third-party partners, and in this way, we will increase the revenue to the guest, to the owner. Sorry.
One last question to you, Selin. That's my question. I don't know if there is anything. Oh, okay. Do you make some kind of marketing for your clients? Do you help them with marketing?
Well, we help them to have good SEO. We provide them to have responsive website, because having website is one thing, but having a good website with online booking ability is another thing, because 71% of travelers, they opt out the website because it didn't let them to book online, or it was too much content and so on last year. This was the data from last year. So we help them to marketize their properties on their website and let them to have their value-added services so they can have their brand as well. So we help them to, we have account management, so we help them what can be done extra to establish their brand new. Actually, one of your sponsors, Greek Luxury Properties Rentals, is Kigo website. It's our client. So you can go and check what kind of things can be done for marketing.
Okay, we have one last question, but since we don't have a lot of time, how safe are the doors provided by Radefy? The locks, obviously, not the doors.
As I said, we do not change the lock of the building, so it's the same security that you have today. If you decide to change the lock and put the electric lock that I mentioned before that locks 24/7, it's the same lock that you had before with the added feature that it locks like if you were using the key. Now, as far as the apartment is concerned, there are two options. We offer an electric lock, and we also offer a Bluetooth lock. The Bluetooth lock has a proprietary algorithm on it, so even if it's scanned, it cannot be decoded and somebody can use the code, find the code and use it. And if it's an electric lock, as you can understand, it's electric. It's a normal lock, but it's electric. So there's very few chances of being able to break in.
Okay.
But what is important is from our platform, anybody that tried to access the building with an improper code, anybody that tried to access your apartment or broke, even if the door is open without using our application or one of the codes, you know immediately that somebody is in. And you know everything that happens in the apartment with the event logs that you get. So you know when the thermostat is open, you know when the thermostat is closed, when the air conditioning is on, when it closes, when the door opens, who opens the door, who closes the door. So you have a complete set of information of everything that goes on.
Great. I believe that if you have any more questions, you can meet all these guys in their booths right outside, and also in Greek, and you, Alex, and Thanasis. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you very much.